everybody, and welcome to Game A Dayer. It is day 600 here on Game A Dayer. My name is Step, and I'm going to stop counting now, at least on the videos. I'll keep track myself, of course, but today we are going to try something a little different. We are going to play a Sunday storytime game, but we are going to play it through. Not in one video. This is going to be the first part of today's game, and check my weekly update or my update for all the details. But today we are going to be playing Root Double Before Crime After Days Extend Edition. I'm not sure how that's supposed to be read, but there it is. Rescue Squad Captain Watase Kasasagi? Rescue Squad Captain Watase Kasasagi wakes up without his memories in the middle of his most critical mission yet, a nuclear meltdown at a research facility. In an unfamiliar place and without his years of training, he must rescue the survivors and escape. This game has very positive reviews and is available on Steam for $38.69. Wow, a very positive reviewed, quite pricey visual novel. This looks like it's something we're probably going to be happy we played through. Anyway, if you want to pick it up on Steam, you can absolutely do that. But first, why not join us while we play it? Alright, I guess we're ready to go. Register. Crywar. Where? What? This story is a work of fiction. Good to know. Oh, it's not meant to instigate any criminal activities. Also good to know. Alright. Let's start. Route name. Route after. Watase Kasasagi. Story date 9/16/2030. Endings clear. Wow, that's a lot of different endings. Holy smokes. 9 souls are trapped in Labo. They attempt to escape the facility in the face of that hopeless situation. However, reality sneers at those struggling to survive. At the limits of fatigue and anxiety and death looming over them, something lurks in their hearts. Is it the courage to never give up, or can they cleave a path to the future with their own hands? Oh, I can choose route before, route after. Whoa. Okay. Only 5 endings there. Well, we'll try route after. Yeah.
彼らは捕虜が集められるように牢に集められ、獄に閉じ込められる。多くの日が経った後、彼らは罰せられる。旧約聖書イザヤ書24章22節。
We're getting all biblical this morning. The roar echoes through the laboratory at daybreak, as if it were a bell heralding the end. What was that sound? I don't know. It came from Area 1. Find out what happened now. Wait, we can't. The gate can't be opened during the amplification. Sounds like we've got a full voice, but it's Japanese voices, so... Uh-oh. Intense tremors detected in B1 Area 1. The roars didn't stop there. Intense tremors detected in B2 Area 3. The loud noises and violent shaking continued to echo through the facility. Oh no. A fire is broken out in B1 Area 2. Followed immediately by shockwaves and the sound of screaming. Intense tremors detected in area B2 Area 2. Security has shifted to evacuation mode. All gates barring those leading to Area N have been opened. There wasn't a soul in that place who yet understood. What had happened here? A clear voice echoed amongst all the confusion and cacophony. This is the emergency broadcast. Explosions of unknown origin have just occurred within the facility. That voice that announced the destruction was but a figment of the truth, a fragment of the truth. September 16th, 2030, 6:19 a.m. At the 6th Laboratory of Atomic and Biological Organization, a scientific research facility located on the outskirts of Rukume City, an explosion occurred. Repeat, security has shifted to evacuation mode. All gates, barring those leading to Area N, have been opened. All personnel, please calmly evacuate to the surface. The automatic PA screamed out warnings as if it had broken. It was an accident that should have been impossible. The sprinkler system's not working. Why? Damn it, hurry up with the personnel evacuation. Everyone had begun ranting madly, caught up in the chaos surrounding them. The emergency staircases have collapsed. All the elevators are offline too. There's no way out. Impossible. How did this happen? Anyway, we need to get out of here. Hurry. Alright, I'm going to save right here. And, be right back. Alright, anyway, we need to get out of here. Hurry. But then a calm voice rose as if to quell the pandemonium. Calm down, everyone. Everyone, calm down. Professor? Have you forgotten that we have a system that immediately notifies the fire department in emergencies like this? It looks like... Hold on. Looks like my settings didn't save. Asset speed... Hub should be here in just a few minutes. Only a few minutes? How is that possible? These guys aren't your run-of-the-mill firefighters. They're the Special Elite Rescue Squad, Sirius. Our city's finest rescue squad, filled with the best of the best. .26 a.m., so 7 minutes later, the rescue squad arrived at the scene. Captain, all members of Team A present and accounted for. A row of rescue workers wearing protective suits stood before a man garbed in the same outfit. Excellent. Listen up, people. Countless people are trapped in this lab as we speak. And due to the nature of this facility, this will be no ordinary dispatch.
どんな不測の事態もだ。
We don't know what will happen here, nor what unforeseen circumstances await us. A young woman who appeared to be fairly new to the team gulped behind her faceplate. The captain looked at her and continued.
俺たちの任務は
Our mission is to save lives. That's how it's always been. Today is no
今日もそれ
exception.
は変わらない。だがお前たちは
But you are all human before you are rescue
だ。
workers.
お前たちが生還すれば
As long as you
それ
survive,
だけで1名
this
の
means
命を
one
救
more
った
life
ことに
saved.
なる。以上に留意し
Keep that in mind as you
救助活動
commence
に従
the
事しろ。
rescue
それで
operation.
は
With that
幸
said,
運を祈る。
good luck to you all. With that shout, they rushed into the facility, all while having no idea what awaited them there. And thus, the dispatch that would later come to be known as Sirius's longest day had begun.
立花は森部と堂島は檜山と
Form two-man cells. Tachibana, you're with Moribe. Dojima, you're with Hiyama.
B チームとの連絡を欠かすな。連携を
Make sure to
取り
keep
続けろ。
in constant contact with Team B. Don't forget this. They all had the same conviction. To accomplish the mission, they'd be handed by whatever means necessary. However, what they found lurking there far exceeded their imagination. Countless unexpected complications kept arising one after another.
森部、地下にまだ人が。
Moribe, there are still people in the basement.
行こう。
Let's go, Lieutenant.
カサギ、すぐに地下に来てくれ。
Kasagi, get to the basement ASAP.
時間がありません。
Hurry,
急
there's
げ
no time.
わかった。
Roger
待ってろ
that. Just wait right here.
繋がらない。
I can't get through to him.
え？
Huh?
おかしいです。
That's odd. Did something happen to the captain? I'm a little confused. So this is Area N, huh?
この先に例の2人が閉じ込められてるってい
Two
う
are trapped just up ahead, right?
そうさ。
Right.
だから行こう。
So let's go.
あの時、
Back
俺たち
then,
は誰
we
も
couldn't
救えな
save
かっ
anyone.
た。その贖罪をする時
The
が
time to atone
ようやく
for
来たん
that
だよ。
has finally come. But even that determination can be crushed.
バカだ。誰もいないだって。
Impossible. No one's here?
騙されたのか。
We
俺
were
たちは
tricked?
なぜ
Why? By
Darling.
whom? God damn it. Why did this have
ど
to
うして
happen?
こんなことに。
悔やむなお前ら。
Don't grieve.
今
Now's
は
not
後
the time
悔す
for
る時じゃ
regrets.
ない。まだ任務は
Our mission
続いているん
isn't
だ。
over yet.
ただいまケース N が発生しました。
Case N has been detected. In accordance with this emergency, security has shifted to normal mode, locking down all bulkheads leading to the surface.
俺がその子を探しに行く。
I'll go look for
バカ、一人
her.
で
What? Are you serious? All by yourself?
行くしかないだろ。お前たち
There's
は
no
後で
other choice. I'll leave the rest to you guys.
20分待って戻らなかった
If
ら
I'm not back
俺
in
を置い
20
ていけ。
minutes, go on without me. How noble. He swallowed his regret and ran. All in order to stick true to his convictions. Finally found you. You're the
君
person
は
of interest
こ
in
の
this
ラボの
lab,
関係
right?
者。
あなた。
Who are you?
レスキュー隊だ。
I'm
君
a
たちを
rescue
救助に
worker.
来た。
I'm here to save you guys. Thus, he found a lone girl, and then...
間に合うか。
Will I make it?
まだあいつらはいるはずだ。
They should still be there.
きっとこの先に。
I'm sure they're just up ahead. He endured the pain and kept on walking. And then, at the end of his mission, he came face to face with a monster. What? The monster took hold of his wrist. The monster looked at him and laughed. The man spotted a broken wristwatch out of the corner of his eye. At that moment, just as an indescribable fear sent shivers down his spine, he was assaulted by an intense pain akin to his brain being crushed. The man screamed, faced with an agony unlike anything he had ever felt before. He struggled to understand the source of the pain amidst the confusion engulfing him. That was... my head. It can't be. Not you too. His well-toned body proved helpless in the face of that power. You damned monster! In spite of that, he struggled against it, attempting to complete his mission. Nevertheless, his will broke as the overwhelming pain surged through his head once more. He staggered backward, clutching his head. The monster's face worked sinisterly, its gaze piercing right through him. He then fled without looking back. If he'd stood his ground, he'd be killed, annihilated. And now he held his throbbing head as he ran for his life. I had to get away, as far away as possible. He had to retreat to a place where the monster's power couldn't reach him. But it was all for naught. This is strange. Weird. Everything in front of him flashed, and he felt an agony like that of his head exploding. That was the last thing he felt. And then, as if someone had flipped a switch, his consciousness faded into darkness. Salvia? Chronograph? Eventually, far past that frozen time, awake, a voice called to him. Or perhaps it was merely a memory of such a voice. He heard that voice as he lay beneath the whitewashed tomb. And then time began to move. Alright. His consciousness was in an endless darkness. A world where everything was closed off. Sight, hearing, touch, smell, taste. I'd been disconnected from all... He'd been disconnected from all his senses. Wow. It didn't feel like there was a world around for him to experience at all. Where am I? He didn't know. His head was a total blank. What is this? All he could sense was a feeling of loss. What's going on? It felt like he was lacking anything definitive. How did this happen? He desperately tried to figure out why. Soon enough, fragmented images twinkled in the corners of his mind. I see. So that thing attacked me. Is this death? No. The sound of a beating heart echoed inside him. He knew for sure he could perceive that. This guy is... No, not this guy. I'm alive. Sight, hearing, smell, taste, touch, pain. I have all of those senses. My body and consciousness are right here. I'm right here. Captain, please hang in there, Captain. Get up, Captain. Come on. We gotta save again. The man opened his eyes. Oh, hello. People. You finally come to, haven't you? What a relief. I thought you bit it there for a sec. The man said nothing as the women before him started dressing him. What the heck are you doing here, Captain? Shouldn't you be in the command post? More importantly, can you say your own name or what day and month it is today? What? Huh? The man already felt confused in the face of the sudden storm of questions he'd been sucked into. He first tried to grasp the situation around him. The women in front of him were wearing orange uniforms. So they're rescue workers? Their uniforms were covered in soot. Disaster, accident, rescue. A vague image related to those words swirled in the man's mind. No. Where am I? You shouldn't sit up yet. The man ignored her warnings and sat up, then checked his surroundings. He was in some building he'd never seen before. He'd apparently been laying in the middle of a hall. He could see cold steel doors and fire hydrants lining the corridor. A glance up at the ceiling revealed air ducts, sprinklers, and so... A sharp headache hit the man at that moment, causing him to fall to the floor yet again. Are you okay? Are you in pain? No, I'm fine. Just then, the man realized he was wearing the same uniform as the woman. Why am I wearing this thing? He felt a strange sense of discomfort. Like he had no connection with himself. Why was he in this uniform? What am I? The man stood up as he shook his groggy head. His body also felt off. His body fell off. Almost like his body and mind weren't properly linked. It kind of feels like this isn't my body or something. No sooner this thought crossed the man's mind than did the air suddenly shake. What was that? The women paid no heed to the man's confusion, and instead exchanged glances. Another explosion? Maybe a fire's broken out. Let's go, Lieutenant. Right. Captain, please rest here. We'll handle this one by ourselves. The woman who'd been called Lieutenant broke off into a run alongside the other woman, who was apparently her subordinate. Wait, hold on. Giotto, Matteo. Scared of being left alone and totally in the dark about what was going on, the man followed the two. He called out to them as he started closing the distance. Wait up, you guys. Captain, I thought I asked you to rest. Yeah, I think he looks okay. Give his hand, alright? No, that's not it. I just wanted to ask you something. What was that noise? What's happening? What are you talking about, Captain?
どういう状況か分かってな
You're
い
saying
の
you don't get what's going on here? No, I don't. The women looked at each other for a brief second.
来れば分かります
You'll understand if you come along.
我々についてきてください。
Please keep close to us. The lieutenant broke off into another run at those words, with the man hot on her tail. She opened the door at the end of the hall, sending intense heat surging out of it. What is this heat? The heat haze filled the area, distorting their vision of what was before them.
早く
We
消
need
火
to
せ
put
ね
out
ば
the fire on the double.
また爆発が起こる前にね
Yeah, before there's another explosion. The woman passed through the open doorway. The man followed suit and ran through the hallway, only to be greeted with hellfire. The man froze in shock at the scene he was confronted with. But the women quickly got to work without even a moment's hesitation.
消火ホースの用意を
Get the hose ready.
了解
Roger.
ちょっと
Whoa.
隊長どい
Out of the
て
way, Captain. Whoa. A female rescue worker pushed the man aside and pulled out a hose from a fire hydrant built into a nearby wall. She then passed it to the lieutenant, who directed the nozzle toward the flames.
放水開始
Commence water release.
了解
Roger, here it comes. A jet stream of water collided with the flames, which erupted into large clouds of steam. Incredible. The fire's getting smaller and smaller by the second. Well, that's what fire extinguishers do. The man stared at the swiftly dying fire with stark amazement. Just then, he heard something else mixed in with the sound of flames evaporating. One... Was that a voice? He wondered if it was his mind playing tricks on him for a second. But as soon as he strained his ears... Help me. He definitely heard what sounded like a young girl's voice coming from the room in front of him. Someone's in that room. The man's body started to run as soon as the thought hit him, weaving its way through the gaps between the flames. The room's door was crushed inward due to the effects of the explosion. The man peeked into the room from the shadow of the broken door and discovered a world of fire and smoke. Where was it? Where was the voice coming from? His hair was singed by the sparks bathing him, creating an awful stench that hung in the air. What's more, his eyes were tearing out thanks to the smoke irritating them. But he endured it and focused on searching the room. Someone help me. Found her! Through the fire and flames, he could see a girl crouching under a desk in the room.
大丈夫か
Are you okay? The girl looked toward the man's voice with hope in her eyes. But the moment her gaze met the man's, her face froze. What's with that look? Overcome with confusion, he came to a halt. But at that moment,
止まるな
don't stop.
彼女を助けろ
Save her. He suddenly heard a voice. A voice in my own head? He didn't know whose voice it was. It sounded like it had echoed from inside him. But the moment he'd heard it, everything suddenly fell into place. He finally realized why he was here. That's right. I came here to save her. The moment he came to that realization, his previous divided body and nerves seemed to finally become one. The flames were closing in on the girl. The voice resounded yet again in his head.
行け
Go!
彼女を助けろ
Save her! And with that commanding and with that command giving him the final push he needed, the man lunged into the blazing flames. After Chapter 1, 9 o'clock. 900? Senses Sympathy tutorial. We apologize for interrupting you so early on, but there are no choices in this world. Oh? Regardless, we need your power to link this world to the future. So the Senses Sympathy system has been prepared in order to allow you to willingly influence the world. This tutorial will explain the SSS to you. But before that, let's explain what we mean by senses here. Senses refers to impressions, emotions, sensations. In this context, put it simply, it's your assessment of how you feel about someone else. In other words, if their senses are high, you have a good impression of that person. But on the other hand, if their senses are low, that means you have a bad impression of that person. And the Senses Sympathy system exists to quantify your senses and reflect them on this world. Now then, let's explain how to change the value of your senses. In specific scenes, a graphic like this that looks like the magic seal will appear in the upper right corner of your screen. This is known as an enneagram. An enneagram is the kind of personality assessor that categorizes people into 9 different personality types. Each of the 9 major characters in the story have been categorized into these 9 types. Thus, the 9 characters have been distributed onto the 9 points of the Enneagram. A graph similar to a radar chart is displayed on top of the Enneagram. This graph is a symbol that represents senses. The shape of the graph corresponds with the 9 characters, and its shape will change as you alter their senses. You can input the senses of the 9 characters, which include the protagonist. Thus, in a sense, you may also set the senses you have for yourself. In such an instance, you determine whether or not you have confidence in your instincts and opinions. Alternatively, you determine how much you value yourself. Senses Sympathy system. Truly a system where you determine the protagonist's various sensations and senses each time. So, Senses Sympathy. I don't know if that was tongue-in-cheek or if it was just deliberate. But it sounds like we can't decide, like there's no choices for paths of what we do. It's more just how we feel about what we do. That's interesting. I wonder if it'll continue forward that way. Your senses will be used to determine which scenario divergence you will travel down at fixed divergence points. Yeah. At divergence points, the story automatically diverges in accordance with the level of your senses. You can't simply input your senses whenever you want. You can only do that at sections known as branches. When you arrive at a branch, the Enneagram will appear in the upper right-hand corner. Please check if the Enneagram is displayed or not to determine when you can and can't input your senses. Allow us to explain in detail through example. Let's play a demo scenario branch while you actually control the system. First, please take a look at the next scene. The census input hasn't appeared yet, so please just play through the text as you normally would. In a certain boy's house, a TV and a game console were sitting in a neat and tidy living room. Just then, a girl came down from the hallway and spoke in an inquisitive voice. Hey, what are you doing? Huh? You're playing a game tutorial? Is it really important? I see. You must be really busy then. Actually, I want to talk to you about something. But this is a bad time, isn't it? The girl looked at you hopefully as she said that. Oh, I'm sorry. It looks like I'm just bothering you, so I'll ask later. No, don't worry about it. It isn't important at all. Okay then, good luck with that game tutorial. The girl slumps her shoulders with disappointment. And she left the living room with a lonely step in her gait. This was an example of an occasion where your senses for that girl were low. Now then, let's play the scene one more time, with the goal this time to be to make the girl happy. There'll be a branch this time, so you can input your sense there. When you arrive at the branch, the Enneagram will appear in the upper right-hand corner. Please increase your sense for the girl before the Enneagram disappears. When the senses light up, please click it to bring up the senses input screen. You can also bring up the input screen by pressing the V button. When you click the senses, you will arrive at this section. This is the senses input screen. Use the cursor to choose whose senses you'd like to change. Bring it to the knob directly below them and change their sense. Click the Decide button to set your values and finish the input process. You can only do a senses input one time per branch. You can't input again if you change your mind after you've decided, so please be careful. This is an interesting interactive system. I wish that this tutorial had been not shoved in the middle of a dramatic scene. Hey, what are you doing? Huh? You're playing a game tutorial? The Peacemaker. Make sure you want to set your senses at this value. Once you set your values, you will not be able to change them until the next branch. Is it really important? I see. You must be really busy, huh? Actually, I wanted to talk to you about something. But this is a bad time, isn't it? The girl looked at you hopefully as she said that. So you... Huh? You listen? Really? Is that okay? Yay, thank you! Well, you see, today is a holiday known as Tanabata. And, you know, if you write your wish on a strip of paper called a Tanzaku today, it'll be granted. So, I was thinking that we need to make preparations for it right now. The girl then started talking happily about bamboo trees that are set up on the Tanabata. Huh. Congratulations, you have successfully raised the girl's favor. In this example, the girl had two different reactions, but there may be more than that depending on the situation. Also, there isn't always just one census target. If there is ever more than one target and you need to take into consideration, you'll have to reevaluate your senses for them individually. In these situations, you can input for more than one character, but the only ones whose senses you can input are those who are involved with the next branch. You cannot alter the senses for an unrelated character. There will occasionally be times where senses hold a greater importance than usual. As such, there are 3 different senses colors. Each one corresponds to the importance of the upcoming branch. Blue signifies an event where you can probably influence the target's favor. A blue branch is, as it's known, is generally not all that important. You don't even need to change your sense every time it comes up. All you have to do is change it whenever your impression of the target alters. But if you neglect too many blue branches, it could have dire consequences for you farther down the line. Yellow. This generally signifies an event where you can probably influence someone's reactions. The yellow branch, as it's known, is generally very important. Expect them to signify big changes, such as a change your destination or travel partner. They're not dangerous, but it's best that you change your senses to reflect your intentions at these points. And though it's rare, the yellow branches can signify that a branch of grave danger is approaching, so please be careful. Now on to red. Red. These signify grave danger. A red branch, as it's known, is of the utmost importance. Deciding incorrectly, and you will find death lying in wait for you. Keep your eyes peeled to avoid danger, and please check your senses immediately to ensure there is no problem. Also, branches directly related to the story's conclusion will be in red. We recommend you exercise cautious judgment there in the same way. This concludes the senses sympathy system explanation. Your senses will change depending on the situation in various ways. Your senses will change the situation in various ways. Now then, let us return to the world. When time starts again, a senses input will appear right away. The Enneagram will be glowing yellow. This indicates the branch of great danger is coming up. Should you choose wrongly, death may soon claim the man. Please look over the situation calmly and select your senses right away. We are expecting your feelings to have a good effect on this world. Okay, well. Hold on, I'll save you. The man screamed this and was about to rush into the flame, but was interrupted by someone grabbing him by the collar. Alright, so... Oh, interesting. That's me. I like her. I like me. And this is the mystery girl who we've already set ourselves to quite highly. You know what? I'm just going to decide this. Are you sure you want to set your senses to these values? Once you set your values, you will not be able to change them until the next branch. Captain, you can't just rush in blindly like that. But if we don't do something quick, that girl will... I'll take care of it. Once he heard her say this, the man... No, leave this to me. Are we gonna die? We're gonna die. Quickly gave this reply. not sure what this means exactly. But just as he was about to continue running, the blaze in front of him flared up violently. Jeez, this is why we told you to rest. You're just gonna get in the way if you can't even walk straight. Those words spurred him on. I'll save her. The man ran into the blazing room, his heart filled with determination. But he was halted the moment he made it inside. Searing waves of heat barred his path. The girl was only a short ways away, but crossing even that distance would be difficult. At that moment, he heard a voice right next to him. What the heck are you doing, Captain? The woman who tried to warn him had followed him into the room without him even noticing. I don't know, because I'm an idiot. But before he could finish his sentence, he felt an intense heat on his head. A second later, a horrible stench filled his nose. Bad end. My hair's on fire? That caused the man to fly into a panic. I know this isn't, this is tragic, but this is too funny. The man frantically swatted at his head in an attempt to put the fire out. Stop, drop, and roll. Captain, why are you acting like total greenhorn? Lieutenant, something's wrong with the captain. I'm about to provide backup with the hose. The woman's voice echoed from outside the room, was replaced with the roar of the hose. Water filled the room like mist. But the fire engulfed the man's head didn't go out, driving him into desperation. Get off! God damn it, go away. All thoughts of saving the girl had vanished from his mind. With no idea of what to do, he tried to put out the fire by directly bathing himself in the hose of water. But the moment he walked into the jet stream's path, a high-powered hose, the sheer force of it knocked him backward. The man fell face up, his back, the back of his head slamming into the floor. Ugh. Bad end. His vision slowly grew dark. Oh, swiftly grew dark. Well, he heard someone's voice from far away. The voice too quickly faded away. The hell is this? Is this how it ends? How pathetic. And with that, he thought no more. Okay. Game over. Oh, okay. Well. Bad ending 1. The Reckless. The result of ignoring female rescue workers' warning. You may be able to avert this fate by setting the female rescue worker's senses higher than the protagonist at the senses input just before this ending. Oh, it gives you a tip. That's kind of cool. Alright, give me a second. Well, I think that is going to be it for us here today on Game A Dayer. One bad ending, but we might see more of this game. Let me know in the comments down below if you would like to see more of Route Double Before Crime After Days Extended Edition. It looks like it would be really interesting, so please do give it the old thumbs up, give this video some love, and leave me a comment. Thanks for joining me here today on Game A Dayer. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, and when you do, don't forget to hit that dingy bell, because that will let you know when I upload new videos, which I do every single day. We might come back to this one next week, or maybe we might do something else. As I said, I'm making some changes to the channel, so watch the update coming out shortly for those changes. Get ready for that. Might be up in the next day or so. We have been playing Root Double Before Crime After Days Extended Edition. I think it's Root Before Crime and Root After Days, but two of them in one game. I think that's how we parse that. Anyway, thanks so much for joining me here today, and please come back tomorrow when we'll be playing something for Mobile Monday. Thanks, everybody.